All right, all right, all right. We are live. Hey, everybody. There's nobody listening right now, but maybe you'll check this out a little later. So, this is Brother Mac with I Want to Start a Damn Podcast. And I'm going to have to repeat all of that because I haven't started the actual podcast yet. We're going to give it a shot right now. Go into Audacity, and we're just going to click record. Hey, folks, it's Brother Mac with I Want to Start a Damn Podcast. Check it out. Little interesting part to this show this time. I am actually doing a live Google Plus broadcast at the same time that I'm recording. It's kind of fun, except that I have to look at my crazy, ugly mug here on the show, and definitely not looking my best. It is 11:30 p.m. here on October the 8th, 2015. It's quite late. Thankfully, I have no viewers right now to heckle me, although I did invite some, and there is a chance that a couple may show, and I actually welcome that. I'll take the heckling. Maybe we'll get some good discussion in here, but I'm really glad to be here and recording once again for you. Now, see, the cool part, something that's going to be rather interesting, is that later I'll be able to edit all that out. It won't be an issue because I've got awesome capabilities to edit pieces, whereas I don't have them here live and alive while we're recording. Again, it doesn't really matter right this moment because obviously it is quite late and I didn't give a lot of people a lot of notice. Not to mention, did you all see me look at my phone? I apologize. We had a bit of a work emergency in the whole day job area, and I did unfortunately been getting a bunch of work emails that I have managed to take care of all before I or rather turned on our microphone here and began our recording. But the cool part is, while I got most of it done, unfortunately, they got me hooked with this extra device there for work, and I have to look at it if something comes in. And thankfully, they were just thanking me for all my great work for the evening, late into the hours. Anyway, as I was discussing, and as you are all already aware, look at that. Edit all that stuff out. That's the greatest part. We can edit all the knocks of this out and the holding of the phone. And if I take a sip of my Mountain Dew, and by the way, no smoking for 8 weeks now, and I'm using my little vapor. That looked really terrible on the Google Hangout, unfortunately. But we have no viewers. Maybe I'm not sure. I'll get into the whole discussion of it more afterward. All right, let's get into the actual show here. So thank you again for joining us here at I Want to Start a Damn Podcast. As I mentioned to you last time, we've had a bit of a difficult time getting this show out. I mean, life comes up. I'm a busy guy, right? I got a lot of stuff going on. We have been managing for the most part to keep up with Seconds Count. We did end up skipping a week, and we finally got that next episode out, which, by the way, is episode 006, which actually means it's episode 7. Don't forget our episode 0. There's a fabled episode 7 is the death of a lot of podcasts. They never make it out past episode 7. And as I declared in Seconds Count, we will kick episode 7's butt. So I want to really make sure that we get past that and keep it going. And I think that we're going to be able to. I'm really not a fan of falling behind a schedule, as it were, but hey, life happens. I'll tell you what's going on here with Seconds Count. You know, we typically record here tonight on Thursday evenings with myself and Trav. Unfortunately, he's absent this week because he's just not feeling good. So in the future, I would like to maybe pull in another guest to come in here and host for me. We've got a bunch of buddies out there listening to our show that actually really enjoy the podcast, Seconds Count. Hopefully they like this one too, but I know they enjoy Seconds Count. In fact, we've got a good buddy, Tommy. You may have heard us mention him before, and today's Tommy's birthday, so happy birthday, Tommy. Hope you're having a great time. Glad you're not out here hanging with me on our Google Hangout here. That would not be a very fun birthday evening for you. But it would be great to have someone like Tom or another guest, just anybody that would like to contribute and actually be a part of the show for the Seconds Count broadcast. I think it would be a lot of fun. And I may have figured out a way to have guests. So that's what I think I'm going to talk about first. Actually, that's not what I'm going to talk about first. You know what? It's kind of weird for me watching our. I'm going to have to do that again. See, this damn hangout. It's kind of weird for me knowing that this is going to be recorded and put onto a YouTube. It would be even weirder if there were people watching. Right now, I can see that I have 0 viewers. Tear. At least they can't see me cry. But anyway, it's weird for watching me do this because there are pieces that are happening where I know I'm going to edit it out. So, but that's okay. Anyway, what I would like to talk about first is some kind of cool news. I have spoken with a couple of folks. I've got a good buddy, Shane. You heard me mention him last time. We introduced him as a couple of different names, and I was hoping he'd be sitting here viewing or maybe in the group chat, ready to pipe in, or maybe jump on as a broadcaster, right? Or as an actual guest. But we had him come visit at the Seconds Count podcast when we recorded last week, and it was great to have them over. Now, he came here specifically to sit down and learn a little something about creating a podcast. Now, he wasn't here for I Want to Start a Damn Podcast, but that's okay. He sat with myself and Trav, and they got to see how we sit down and record I Want to Start a Damn Podcast, or rather, I did it again. They sat down and watched us record Seconds Count. I'll put that over here. Now, what's interesting, or not rather necessarily interesting per se, but what it is, we're going to put a little pause on this here. See, I've got my phone out. I've got someone trying to join. Let's see if we can send out a link to this bad boy here. Get to edit all this stuff out. Very interesting. So, all these guys that said that they were going to join us for the broadcast, they did not, for some reason, did not find that there was a button to join for it. So I've just now sent one out. So there's something that I'm gonna get to, and I'm not there yet. So we're gonna hold off here. I actually do see that Jose has joined up. He's muted right now as I learn all my tools, but I do see he's sitting there. He has the ability to go ahead and pipe in on chat, though. I will be able to see what it is that he types in, unless he angers me, in which case I will silence him there too. Pretty sure that I have that power and ability. I do see that he has joined up and he's smiling down there in the camera that you guys can't see yet, which I also think is fun. So, as I was discussing, what I wanted to get into first is I had some discussions. We had my buddy Shane, also goes by Big Shane, also goes by Black Shane, also goes by Your Mom's Side Action, as we discussed in a previous episode, and he enjoyed the shout out rather well. Well, again, Shane came and visited us within. Ooh, I just heard a bit of noise there. Okay, I just muted Jose. There we go. That was pretty funny. Okay. Anyway, so we spoke with Shane, and he is looking to kick up his own podcast. So he came and visited us to watch Seconds Count. Now, I'm glad that I hope that he gets a chance to join for I Want to Start a Damn Podcast as well. But Seconds Count is more likely going to be akin to what he's used to doing for his show, because he's planning on having an entire panel of guests. So he was able to see a bit how we interact with the mixer, how we have the different microphones set up, and how we're able to actually interact with one another while we do it. And, how the inputs for the system, how we're recording, and also the mixer, and just the whole setup. I mean, you can't really tell here because I've got a whole bunch of cool Nintendo stuff. But for those of you that get to see, I've got the mixer, I've got the mic set up with the Wii U over there. But, there's a lot of intricacies to getting this stuff set up. If you notice, we've got my mic arm, which swings out and in. My pop filter, which likes to move away and off. But, what's interesting is that, you don't learn a lot of these things until you start doing it. And having, for example, your microphone not attached to the table that you have your computer on that you're sitting right in front of is pretty important. Because if I were to drop, for example, that cap on the table, now you heard that cap, I'm sure you did. But let me just tell you, if my microphone was mounted to the table that was on here, you would hear it a lot more. Now, Jose, who is watching, can you confirm that you can hear us? Big thumbs up. Thank you. I muted you. I didn't wanted to make sure you can hear me as well. Now, damn it, I'm trying to find more people to get us to join. What's crazy here is it's saying 0 viewers. Are you actually seeing me, Jose? I don't know why it says 0 viewers in here. I'm going to edit all this crap out. It's a beautiful thing. I love that you're going to get to see this junk on YouTube. But anyway, I'm going to keep moving here. This is going to be a terrible one to edit. This is what podcasting's all about. Recording and editing. Lots and lots of editing, especially when you're trying to do something fun live like this. So, again, Shane got to see all this cool stuff. And I'm glad for that. And I plan on having him come by and hang out and watch a couple of more and possibly even participate, especially in the I Want to Start a Damn podcast. Now, the other one is a good buddy and brother, Jose. Now, he, also known as so-and-so, he has also decided he wants to start a damn podcast as well. And both of these guys decided they want to start a damn podcast because of I Want to Start a Damn Podcast, which is amazing. I love it. That makes me a happy guy. I have officially inspired a couple of people to start a damn podcast. And it's really actually thanks to Trav and myself, because Trav brought up the idea to me. I loved it. He and I started it. And starting Seconds Count, I also started I Want to Start a Damn Podcast. And now look at this. We've got an entourage almost. You've got me, Trav, so-and-so with the Lowdown Throwdown, and Shane, also known as Dr. Black, who I don't know what his name of his show is going to be yet. He's been jumping back and forth. He's letting his woman make too many of his. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to say that to you, Dr. Black. But anyway, so Shane is working on getting his stuff together, and he's going to have a whole panel of podcasters. So we're going to have like literally 8 more people involved with podcasting because of I Want to Start a Damn Podcast. Now, I may only have 35 subscribers, which I'm very happy about my 35 subscribers. Thank you to anyone that listens. But that's pretty awesome. I'm really happy to have 8 new people involved in podcasting. And it's just cool to have inspired that. Now, a little bit more information. So I started messing with some of the other technologies. Trav and I have been working. We've got 7 episodes out now, and it's great. Now we're looking to see how we can sort of spruce things up. As you know, we have improved the website. We did buy the URLs for I Want to Start It In podcast and Seconds Count. That's a beautiful thing. We had a viewer. We lost a viewer. This is neat stuff. This is, again, new with the technology. It's pretty cool. So we got those pieces together. We've been improving sort of the way the websites work and how they host our show and the blog entries and the quality of our show notes. All very good stuff. But we probably want to get things going when it comes to interviews, and not even just sit down interviews the way we're talking here. But if you've been following Seconds Count at all, Brother Mac here, myself, I will be going for my pistol permit class very soon. And in doing so, I'm going to basically do a special episode dedicated to getting your pistol permit here in the state of Connecticut, which is going to be pretty awesome. I'd like to document the whole thing. And how am I going to do that, though? I don't really know. I mean, I could walk around. I've got an iPhone and a Galaxy Note 4. I'm completely hooked up when it comes to technology. That's weird. My other device. Oh, here we go. Just want to show everybody that we got watching here and that I have numerous devices at my fingertips. I can do kind of cool stuff there, but what is the quality going to be like? Am I going to be able to produce an episode that you want to hear by taking a phone with me to, for example, City Hall when I go to pick up the paperwork for doing a pistol permit? Am I going to get anything good from an audio standpoint when I go to the permit class? Obviously, I'm not going to record the entire class, but I would like to talk with a couple of the other people taking the class, get some comments out of the instructor, pop off some rounds with the mic next to it, all kinds of good stuff, lots of good information and some realism when it comes to the process that gets involved in it. But how is that going to work? Am I going to be able to take my my Audio Technica ATR 2100 around with me and my laptop around with me? I don't know. I don't know if that sounds like a good idea. It might be a bit overkill, but it could work, I guess. I know that there are some really cool applications out there, and I need to start exploring that I can get for both Samsung and for the iPhone technology. But I don't know what I'm going to use. I believe the biggest issue that we have to worry about is probably audio quality. And when it comes to the audio quality, this is awesome, but I can't imagine that the microphone coming off of my cell phones is going to be that great. Maybe it's good enough just for an interview. I'll have to do some experimenting. So experimenting brings me to the next thing. Brother Jose, so-and-so, he pings me the other day and he says, "Hey, have you any clue how to do an interview over Skype?" And this is all for his planning of his podcast. And I said, "Hey, yeah, it's called the Mix Minus or something like that. I've never done it. I don't know how it's done, but that's what it's called." So Google's your buddy. And he wanted to know if I would be interested in doing one of those, testing it out and trying to figure it out with him. I said, sure, why not? Let's get a little bit of work done. Oh my goodness, I'm making so much extra noise today. It's not funny. Break time. So we have one viewer. I'm wondering if my one viewer is you. I'm not sure. That's interesting stuff. Because the one viewer has gone off and it's gone back on. I really don't know how it works. All right, we're still live on the camera, but I'm going to edit out my little mental break that I took there. Yeah, all right. So I went ahead and fired up the computer. We took a look and I started doing some research. How does the Mix Minus work? Now, I found a lot of sites, and I'm going to put a couple of links to what people are doing for the whole Mix Minus. when it comes to utilizing Skype. And I got to tell you, it's looked like a real pain in the ass. There was a lot of different ways to do it. There was some pieces where there are pictures of a mixer very similar to my Alessi's multi-mix mixer that we have here. But I mean, there's cables, they're coming in and out of it. And I'm going to unplug my headphone cable here so anyone watching can see this. But I've got this thing here, right? It's an adapter that plugs in. That plugs right into my mixer. Now, that thing allows me to monitor in my headphones. Now, when it's just me, I mean, I can use, if I go through USB rather than the XLR cable there, I can monitor through the back of the microphone. There's a little microphone jack for this, and that would work fine. But I can't plug a regular headset into the mixer without one of these adapters. And what that means is I also can't do a mix minus because or at least I think so. From what I was able to see, you need cords coming in and out of your mixer that will more or less, I think the point is to silence me while the other person's talking and silence them while I'm talking so that there's only one input coming from us at the same time, and whatever the case is. But I don't really know how these other cords work because I can't play with it. I don't have any more of those adapters. And frankly, I'm not going to go buy any. I don't really have any reason to. But I started looking around and there's a couple other things. So I had another option of using Pamela for Skype, which I think would have worked. I know the free version allows you to do free 15 minutes of recording. And I think that's probably pretty good. Depending on the interviews you're doing, you may not need more than 15 minutes. Or since you're going to edit things anyway, maybe you kill the call after 15 minutes and start it back up again. Or you could just cough up the bucks that it takes to get the pro version and forget all about that. But I hear Pamela works really, really well for the Windows OS. And I know that there's another option for Macs, but I don't use a Mac, so I didn't even look. I should probably tell you guys about that, considering I don't want to alienate any of my listeners. But those are a couple of different ways that you can do the recordings with Skype. Now, that's fine. That's all well and good, but I'm not doing it. I'm not installing the Pamela software on my laptop. I don't have any of these additional cables that I need. So what I am going to do is figure out another way. Now, I know we have a thing called Google Plus out there. It's been hanging around for a while. And honestly, I use it more now that I've gotten involved in podcasting than I've ever used it before. And that's cool. Man, I don't like the way this camera's facing. We're going to have to move you over. I don't like the way Jose's looking at me. It's kind of weird. There we go. So anyway, I'm using Google Plus more now with podcasting than I ever did before. And I said, I know that the Podcasters Roundtable uses Google Plus. They use Google Hangouts for that, and I think that's cool. Obviously, they can make that work. Now, how do I make it work? How do I make it work for me? So what I decided to do was test it. I said, Jose wants to do one of these. I'm going to do it. I'm going to check it out, and we're going to see if we can make this work. And we did. It took a little fiddling around, but we figured out how to do a interview, how to do input from a guest on the other end and myself, and actually how to get that into the show using Google Plus. And it was really, really easy. So here's how that works. I'd like to welcome Dr. Black in there. Welcome, Dr. Black. I see that you have joined. You're muted. Your input is not welcome at this point, unless you want to send a little chat thing. So you can talk all you want. I can't hear you. I love it. I got to get one of those for my wife. Ooh, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. That will be edited out. I don't want one of those for my wife. I love you, baby. I hope I can edit the YouTube video too. I really am kidding. My wife is awesome, and I would love for her to come on the podcast, but she'll never do it. Anyway, what we have figured out here is that using Google Plus is super simple. I basically launched Google Plus. Now I have a Google Plus account for I Want to Start a Damn Podcast, and it's what is it? I want to start a damn podcast, right? So IWTSDAMP or whatever it is. Figure it out. IWTSADP at gmail.com. Now the cool part about that is all you got to do is type that in there, and you can send me an email, and you get one to Brother Mac. Yay, that's fun. But that's not what you care about. What I care about is using that email for my Google Plus, for Google Drive, all that good stuff there. Now, how does that help me do the Hangout? Well, that Gmail account, for all of you people that have been living under a rock, ties you to all the Google technology. That includes YouTube, that includes Hangouts, that includes Drive, that includes Gmail, that includes lots and lots of different things. And the way it ended up working out is when you go to Google Hangouts, you have the option to do a few different types of Hangout. I believe you can do chat, very simple. I believe you can do video, also pretty simple. But the key one here is on-air chats, on-air hangouts. And I don't know that you need to do video. I mean, maybe you can just put your hand in front of the mic or in front of the camera. You could put the fun little smiley face on the little whatever the hell it is there, the camera on the front of your damn laptop. Any of those things, or maybe you could just turn your camera off. I'm pretty sure I can do that with the my little buttons in here. If I just go like this, hey, all of a sudden all you're seeing instead of me is my logo with a bunch of fun words bouncing over there. So you don't really have to do a live broadcast with your camera if you don't want to, but it's the on-air one that makes it possible. What happens is you record this on-air broadcast. Now, I don't know if there's a setting in here which makes it so that nobody can see it. I know that you can share it with people publicly or keep it private if you want. I don't know about the YouTube aspect of it, but as soon as you decide that you want to do that, you can then add your YouTube account through your Gmail address, linking the two. I think you may have to go through a confirmation to say that, yes, this is my account and all that good stuff, but you're essentially linking your YouTube account to the Gmail account. And when you do your live on-air broadcasts, this broadcasts live on Google+, but also on YouTube. And what happens is, as soon as you click Stop Broadcast, and you're no longer done. Like right now, we're broadcasting live. Yay, it's fun. But when I click Stop, what it does is it processes that video and saves it to your YouTube. It's a beautiful thing. And I've done it twice now, and it works like a charm. So after that's all said and done, you need to do two more things. Now, first and foremost, you have to have the ability to download a YouTube video from YouTube. It's not that difficult, and I can tell you one way that I found out how to do it. And all you're really doing here, ooh, we got a couple of pieces here. Oh, I don't know what all these guys are saying, but hey, maybe some people, maybe some folks have actually mentioned this. This would be cool. We'll talk about this more afterwards. Hopefully someone's watching, and maybe it's one of these guys. Now, if I go into Firefox, what I'm going to do is here is I'm going to, oh, you know what I can do for all my folks that are watching? I'm going to share my screen. Check this out. This would be kind of cool. Here's a screen share, and what we're going to do is this. So as you can see here, I'm in my Google Plus screen. I'm in Firefox. Now, I don't know if this will work for the other browsers, but I know this works for Firefox. And what you do is you go into your settings and you go under add-ons. In your add-ons for Firefox, you can find, if you just look this one up, it's called Download YouTube Videos as MP4. It's very discreet. It's hard to figure out what they're talking about right now. It's very, very simple. Download YouTube videos as MP4. By selecting that, you are now I got to find how to get back to my show. That's awesome. All right, I think there I am. Yep. Now I'm going to stop my screen share. I hope everyone was able to actually see that. And what that allows you to do is when you go to YouTube, oh, we're going to screen share again. Check this out. We're going to go back to YouTube like this. And instead of this window here, we'll just type in YouTube. Isn't that super fun? And once you're in here, what you'll be able to do is go to any particular video. Like you can see, it's live now. We have one person watching. This must be somebody from YouTube watching while you guys are actually in the channel. Then maybe this is somebody else. Hi to whoever's watching. I appreciate that. But here's the cool part. This is what I figured out. I'm going to pause this so that it's... Oh my goodness, that's the craziest thing. This is like Spaceballs. I'm actually playing live what I'm hearing right now. That's the craziest. I can't even believe it. Now this is live, so I want you to notice right now this is not here. All right? What I'm looking for is not here. I'm going to show you momentarily as I go to another show. Hello everybody. My name is Mark Plyer. Hey, Mark Plyer, you're awesome, but I'm not watching your show. What I'm trying to show everybody here is that I have the ability to download this video. Just from that, a little add-on. Download YouTube as MP4. Once the video is saved there, you can simply download it by clicking on this button. You have the option as FLV, MP4, and you get two different sizes for the quality. So you can get the really heavy one, which I recommend, and then the smaller one. All right, now that that's done, once you download the file, then you have to go into Audacity. All right, I stopped the screen share. Then once you go into Audacity following this, all you're going to do at that point is import it. But can you import a video file into Audacity? Nay, you may not. You do have a different option. In Audacity, we're going to do yet another screen share for you. In Audacity, you need to download this cool little thing. Uh-oh. It's not going to let me look because it won't let me look right now because I am currently... That stinks. I'm sorry, folks. I'll have to show you after. Right now I'm recording, so it's not going to let me show you. What we're going to do here is kill that screen share. Yeah, all right, beautiful. Now, what it is the ability, it's an add-on very similar to the lame MP3 encoder. This allows you to import video files, and all it does is import in the audio. Bam. It takes minutes. You just open it up, you import audio, you just simply select your MP4 file, and it sucks all of this stuff right out of it. I'm telling you, it is amazing. Now, on to the technology stuff. We had a cool viewer sitting on here. I have a feeling that this was an actual YouTube viewer, and I've seen a couple come on and off. It's always only said one viewer on my Google Hangout, but that one viewer came off, came on, went off, came back on, came on and stayed for quite a while, and I do see it says 0 viewers now, but I have 2 guests. Here I've got so-and-so, and I've got Dr. Black, and both of them are sitting here patiently. I'm getting a couple of messages via chat, but all in all, they have been in here, and this 0 viewers, which what it says now, it showed 1 when there was 1 person, but it showed 1 then when there was no one. It shows 0 now that we have 2, and it showed 1 while we have 2. So I guarantee you that user is someone else. So let's look at this together really quick. I'm going to do another screen share back to my browser. We're going to jump back over to the dirty little secrets of I Want to Start a Damn Podcast Google Plus page. Now I've got a little message here about hanging out here. Okay, so that's nobody's, that's already you. So that's really interesting. I've got, I don't know who this dude is. It's somebody else, and that's fine. I thought it was somebody else sent an actual message, but it looks like just an acceptance. Just for the record, check this out. I'm clicking yes. I'm going to watch my own podcast. It's like the 7th time I've done that. I don't think it matters. All right. We're going to stop our screen share on this again, and we're going to just talk a little bit more about what we're doing. So again, we've been working with the technology here. This is awesome. I'm telling you, I was able to bring in the audio of me talking with so-and-so as my very first interview. And here is that interview. Okay, now I'm not actually playing that. That's the magic of radio, the magic of podcasting. I'm even going to leave this part in the actual show. I'm just going to put it at the end of the interview. But the cool part is that I'm not playing it right now. I've already done it. I've already recorded it with so-and-so. And we talked about his show, and it was awesome. And maybe I'm going to pause that interview, and I'm going to interject all of these awesome comments that I'm saying right now during those parts of the show. It's going to make for a hodgepodge, make it very difficult, but it's going to be fun. And we will see all the really cool parts about this. So I'm going to take a slight turn right now, and I'm going to turn on the mics and even the videos for my good buddy Dr. Black and my other good buddy so-and-so. So here, welcome to the show. Hold on, not yet. You guys settle down. How the hell do I unmute you? We're going to show in the show. Yeah, there's the show. Show in the podcast, but you're still muted. I have to find out how to unmute you. Microphone. Oh, there we go. Why are you not unmuting? Shane, are you muted? You're not muted any longer?
No.
All right. Dr. Black, I'm going to have to edit out the Shane. Dr. Black is now no longer muted. Jose is muted for some reason. Jose, can you unmute yourself? Ah, there you are. Welcome to the show. I'm Brother Mac. Now, am I just simply able to click on who I want to show? There's got to be a cool, nifty feature here where I am able to make you display whenever I want.
Click on his face, and there he is.
Yeah, I can click on your face and make you show up right now. That's great. But what I want is for when I talk, me to show up. When you talk, you to show up. And I know there's a setting to make that work. So can I get a hello from so-and-so?
Hey, what up, Brother Mac? Last time in our second interview, I don't know what you clicked on the setting, but on the YouTube, when I watched it, it actually went back and forth. As you spoke, it showed you. As I spoke, it showed me on the video.
And we will show that in the show if you actually go and watch the actual show. For those of you that are just listening, go watch the show. What's it cost you? Now, Dr. Black, can you greet everybody here?
Yes, I am Dr. Black from the soon-to-be broadcast podcast,
Mangasms with Dr. Black. And I believe floating around in the background there, you have a producer. Right now, all we get is a portion of the upper torso, a hand wave, but that is Mike the D.
Cue the crickets.
So that's Mike the D, Dr. Black with I want to start a damn Mangasms. Wait, that's not, that sounds even worse. That's terrible. We don't want, for the record, I don't want to start any Mangasms, all right? Now, one thing I think is going to be very important to do anytime we are doing an interview is we're going to need to make sure that our guests are using some sort of quality microphone, or at least test out what they're going to sound like. So, for example, so-and-so, you sound pretty loud. Can you tell me what it is that you're speaking into?
I'm on my iPhone 6. It's like the first version, first edition of it, generation.
And you're not utilizing any headphones or anything like that. It's simply just the regular talking microphone for the iPhone 6. So you sound plenty loud enough. Now, you don't sound very clear, I will say. And let me rephrase that. I'm not trying to talk any junk about the iPhone. I have a beat-up iPhone C. I don't know why the hell we're sitting here staring at Dr. Black the whole time. It's my show. Thank you. And we've got my beat-up iPhone 5C. I'm more a fan of my iPhone Note 4. Wait,
iPhone.
that's not an iPhone Note 4. It's my Galaxy Note 4. But the thing is, the hell was I talking about? Screw this live recording shit.
The audio quality.
Yeah, I know. I just felt like cussing. I'm gonna take a break. You know how gay this looks, I noticed afterwards? From this angle, it looks terrible, but from the proper angle, you actually seem like an old British guy smoking out of a pipe.
It all comes down to POV.
Indubitably, my dear Watson. Good day and welcome to I Would Like to Start a Damn Podcast with
Winston.
With Sir Mac, with Sir Winston Mac.
In comparison to so-and-so, how am I broadcasting?
You sound far away, Shane.
Any better now?
You sound closer, but still far away. What is it you're using? Okay, now here's the deal. You need to get up on it. I don't know if you're looking. I don't know if you have the ability, but I'm going to turn this for you. I want you to see how I'm getting. I'm going to point out the camera for everybody else, but I am like giving this thing a kiss. I like to hug and kiss my ATR 2100. I am all up on it. You cannot talk about it from far away. This is what the dynamic microphone is all about. It's, to me, and again, I'm not an audio guy, so I don't really know what I'm talking about, but this is directional. I am speaking here to this mic. It's coming out this way, listening for me. If I'm talking over here or out here or from way back here, and I'm actually speaking way up for you to hear me like this, but it sounds a lot different. And I mean, I can hear myself when I monitor through the headphones. It is so much different. If I just move back 3 inches, I can barely hear myself in the headphones. So when you're talking in it, you want to get up on it. So get up on it for us, and let's hear what it sounds like.
So I really just need to be much closer.
You need to get much closer, and I can sound you. You sound great. Sound great again for us.
Appreciate
You better get used to speaking on that thing, boy.
I did try to get the boom mic that the boom that you guys have, but could not get one today.
You're talking about the arm filter here?
Yes.
Yeah. I think it's called the scissor arm. I don't really know.
Yeah, that. I had no luck at Guitar Center. They wanted to sell me this $200 thing that would just sit on my floor that I was not trying to buy.
You know what I don't like about this Google Plus thing? Is you got so-and-so and his lovely lady over here making fun of me. And you know what? Hold on 1 second. They look way more comfortable. For everyone watching, just 1 second. I've got my pillow pet. I'm way more comfortable. All right. That's not it.
My gaydar just hit seismic levels.
I've got like 74 different pillow pets floating around here. None of them are mine. I have
So you
children.
say.
I have a couple, if I'm being honest. At least my pillow pet isn't named Mike the D, who's hiding in the corner right now. And the best part is, again, this is all going to be edited out, as terrible as this is. I know. I love it. So back to the technology. I know the interview here works great. I know I can hear. So Shane, say hello to us again really quick.
Hello, this is not Shane. This is Dr. Black.
With
Mike the D, a.k.a. Crickets.
And your show is going to be called
Mangasm.
Mangasms with Dr. Black and Mike the D. Sounds terrible.
The level of ignorance will be high.
The level of ignorance will be high. Then we've got the lowdown throwdown. Now, here's something that I mentioned briefly in the interview with so-and-so. The cool part is about your show, so-and-so, is that you, sir, are going to have a self-filling audience, and I love that. I'm jealous. I want more myself. I just heard a ding. I believe he muted himself. I do believe that is the case. Keep rolling. All right. I'm going to keep rolling. I did not. That's weird. All right. So the cool part is so-and-so is going to have a self-filling audience. And maybe Dr. Black will find this rather interesting, but what's going on in that particular case is he's going to be having unsigned artists who have published songs on places like SoundCloud and elsewhere about the web, where he goes out and researches these guys, and in doing so finds a couple that he would like to include on this show. And what happens from that point is he chooses two of them to pit them against each other, as it were, in a throwdown, right? Now, the way it works is so-and-so will talk about the songs within his show and play both. He'll then, correct me if I'm wrong here, you will also give your personal opinion. You know what? I'm going to shut up and let so-and-so tell me. What are you going to do?
All right, brother. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take two unsigned or independent artists, play their songs. We're gonna review them, give our personal opinions, but also at the same time request our fans, our followers, subscribers to place their vote. And as well, we were hoping that the artists themselves would promote and bring even more subscribers, more followers. It's kind of like, they say the best publicity is word of mouth, and it's also free, which it's already, in the first day we even put a post up without utilizing any media, like the official audio of the show. We had staggering numbers, like over 200 visitors to the site.
So that's amazing, and the self-fulfilling aspect of this is you're going to have folks that are unsigned artists, so already they want other people to hear their music. So by you playing them on the show, they're going to let the people that do listen to them know, hey, I'm going to be here, I'm going to be pitted against another artist. So go on there and vote for my music. Now, what's great about this is, at the very least, even if no one knew, goes and listens to their music that time, what they're going to do is they're going to have their music being heard at least by the other person's fans, right? So at the very least, you've got whatever number of followers that are listening to one guy's song are listening to the other guy's song as well. At least you hope they do, and they don't actually just vote without listening. The idea is that they will listen, and they likely will, because they're the friends of the artist, right? And so once they do that, they'll start sharing it out. Hey, go vote for my boy's song. Hey, my buddy's song is going to be on the Lowdown Throwdown. Go check it out. And it's every time you do it, you're going to have new listeners, at the very least new listeners for the fans of that show. And they're going to promote their music as much as they can. So you may get tons of listeners right out of the gate. And that's a really interesting concept. I wish I thought of it. I wish it was me doing it, but then again, I have nothing to do with the music industry other than my "If Your Mother Only Knew."
Aaliyah may have just rolled over in her grave.
Come on, son.
Yeah, baby. If your mother only knew, yeah. With the original Mr. Lover.
Brother, so and so, is this gonna be sort of like a king of the .com?
I guess you can kind of put it in a category like that, but the difference is not just going to be strictly music. We're gonna have like a half of it is gonna be a talk show. Um, the lowdown part of the show would be us bringing up issues that are just like everyday type of topics, kind of like the podcast version of Seinfeld. And of course, because my musical background, we're gonna throw in, I would like to give some other artists out here some opportunities to get their music heard at the same time. Of course, plug my own music. Maybe we can share fans. Have one big man woman gasm. I don't know how you would put it like that.
Whoa. While this show is not exactly family friendly, we're
Right.
also not explicit. Let's leave that off there, buddy. No, I'm just kidding. So, can you actually give us a little bit more information about this? Because I kind of like where you're going with this. When you say you're talking about the issues and stuff like that, everyday kind of stuff from the lowdown perspective, are you talking about the issues that you have with, let's say, the music industry, with what you're finding difficulty in, whether it's coming up with your beats, whether it's coming up with your lyrics, whether it's coming up with how the hell do I record, or by equipment recording, or how do I get people to listen, producing, all that stuff. Like, for example, I want to start a damn rap song. Just to make a joke about it, but in seriousness, I mean, is that what you're talking about? These are my issues in dealing with the music industry as an underground artist. When you talk about the lowdown aspect,
Actually, that's a great idea. It's personally, it's something that I've been considering for episode 2. Um, but the first episode is we're gonna ask the question that a lot of men spend a lot of time thinking about. The topic of the week of the first episode would be, how long does it take for you ladies to give up the cookie? Is it like, are there stages to the relationship? Is it something you consider within the first 5 minutes? Are there hoops that we have to jump through that are lit on fire, prior? We're just gonna allow Miss Allie here to give the female
oh
perspective,
my goodness.
as well as, my
Why do
own.
we have to look at you when you're pointed at her? Much better.
See, that's gonna help, of course, promote the website. Her face is on the flyer. She's much easier on the eyes, of
Yeah,
course.
well,
Agreed.
rather than look at you, I'm going to look at me instead.
All right.
It's Brother Mac with I Want to Start a Damn Podcast. So that sounds really great. And I know Shane, I got to stop that.
For real.
Dr. Black. So I know Dr. Black and his show Mangasms is still working to get off the ground. They've unfortunately, I don't want to say unfortunately, because it's going to be really cool. It's going to be very fun and funny, and I can't wait to put in a bunch of audio clips myself. However, it's also more involved, right? They've got the circumstance where they're going to have more of a panel. So, Dr. Black, tell us a little bit about it, right? Without going into too much crazy detail, because let's just take a look at our running time right so far. We're actually not doing nearly as bad as I thought. Only been recording for like 54 minutes, but how much usable content is going to be done when it's done this way? So I'll talk more about that afterwards. Let's go back to Dr. Black here. Dr. Black, tell us a little bit about Mangasms.
It's interesting that so-and-so mentioned Seinfeld, because that is the vibe that I want Mangasms to have, just on a more urban level.
Seinfeld meets Howard Stern.
Seinfeld meets Corey Holcomb. You may have to YouTube that one, but brother is out of control. But as I spoke to you, I will be discussing. Can I say that?
You
How
can
to
say whatever you want. I can edit it out.
how to disappoint a woman sexually in 4 minutes or less.
Yeah. So for those of you who have may have listened to the previous episode of I Want to Start a Damn Podcast, you will have heard me initially introduce Dr. Black with his myriad of other nicknames, where what he had stated, and I loved it, was that his show was going to be about how to disappoint a woman in 4 minutes or less, because that was all he was qualified to talk about. And I thought that was hysterical. I think that's a great. Um, it's just funny.
My wife would agree.
So would your mom. I'm sorry.
Oh no, that was at least 5.5. I have no shame. She pays like she weighs.
5 minute minimum. That's what I heard.
But we will do a myriad of topics. We just want to keep it ignorant to a certain level.
I understand. So do me a favor though. Give us a little bit more on the aspects of the show. So I know that you're going to have more than just yourself.
Correct. I have the two admins of a page that I can't mention here on Facebook that are also going to be a part of
Interesting.
my panel, where we were going to discuss ratchetness, uh, poetry, if you will, and you guys mentioned how long it takes to give it up. Like that would really depend on the female that you're working with. 'Cause you could probably roll through that area on Davis Drive, where in Bristol, with a Happy Meal and a subscription to
Oh my
Netflix,
goodness.
and get
Save it for the show.
popping.
We want so I know that you're going to have more of a panel. So you said you're going to have the admins for your Facebook space.
Yes, we've got Chris, the fallopian tickler, and Chelsea, I'm not a basic white bitch, as also as a part of the panel, and we're gonna do our thing.
So you're going to have yourself, I'm going to guess you'll be the main host of the show, and you'll have your sub co-hosts, if you will, those two folks, and then you've got the producer is Mike the D.
Yes, and sadly enough, I'm going to be the voice of reason.
That's only sad for the people that that don't know you or that actually know you.
Yeah. So the panel had to be willing to get to a level of gutter even further than I normally operate at, and they said yes, that they could do it.
And I think that's fine as long as you're not on camera.
Yeah, this is because I do intend to lie and say that I don't know how I got blessed with the name Dr. Black, because I'm not a doctor, nor am I black. But you could do that on a podcast.
You can do that on a podcast. The magic of radio. As they say, I have a face for radio. So anyway, so this is a ton of fun. Now, what is going to be interesting following such a discussion as this is how much can I edit it? Now, I know I'll be able to edit our discussion. What's going to be fun about this is trying to find how am I going to grab the tiny bits of audio from when we're discussing, as we're doing, as we have done, as sort of host and or guests. Maybe I don't need any of what I have in Audacity right now. If I actually recorded everything in the Google Hangout and all of it goes to YouTube, would it be better for me, as long as my audio sounds like it's coming through is my mixer and my ATR, which I believe I have proven to be the case, we shouldn't have a problem. I may actually be able to kill everything I've recorded in Audacity to begin with and just use the audio from the Google Hangout. And this is something that I'm guessing the folks at the Podcasters Roundtable, they know all about it already. I have no idea myself. But how will I be able to edit it? I'm assuming that if the audio is coming through from the Google Hangout properly and as it should, then I can literally just download the video from the webs and drag it into Audacity and use all of the audio from the entire Hangout as the show and do my editing from there. The difference is going to be if you are simply doing an interview, right, and then taking that interview and posting it. So, for example, in this particular show, what I will have done is eventually we'll click stop broadcast here. Maybe going forward, this is what I'm going to do every time. It'll be lots of fun, and maybe I'll eventually get a bunch of viewers and guests. It said 0 viewers for quite some time now. Unfortunately, it's only my guests that are watching at this point, but I know we had some viewers for a little while, and that was fun. They're probably blasting us all over Facebook right now, and that's fine. Well, they can't be blasting us too hard because we don't have any more viewers. But they may have just, cried all over their keyboard.
I'm very, very interested in seeing how you're going to edit out me saying vaginal blood fart.
That's very easy to do.
But leave it in there.
Well, I'll leave it in, but I will edit it out. Maybe I'll reverse it, like I want to start a damn podcast. I think Jose just went away just for a minute there. See, I have to edit that out too because it's so and so, and I have to edit out that for saying it, right?
Well, Jose's been muting himself when he wants to laugh too.
Oh, I know, I know. Then you can also do one of these bad boys. Just cover it up, and then you come back, right? No, so. The other interesting aspect to this, though, or rather what I'm going to do first and foremost is what I said, right? I mean, you're not always going to have the entire show on here, and you're going to do interviews, right? Especially, I know so-and-so with the Lowdown Throwdown is going to be doing interviews at some point where he is not just going to play each artist's song and do the rest bits of their show. They're also going to do an interview with an artist or two as part of their format. So if he doesn't do the whole thing, for example, live on a Google Hangout, he'll likely record the interview separately and then want to include that in the podcast later, as similar to how I'm going to do with the interview that I did with so-and-so before, getting him to tell us a little bit about his show. Now, I've also talked a bit about it here, but we'll edit that stuff out.
Wow.
Yeah. It's late, and I've got a telecom with China at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Patrick Flynn of Smart Passive Income mentioned that you could take the excerpts and leave them as premium content.
Bonus content. So I think that's probably a pretty cool idea to do also. And it comes down to storage space. So that's really a good point that you mentioned there, Dr. Black. I have noticed that depending on the show, we can have some pretty crazy outtakes. Myself and Trav, when we're doing seconds count, we can have some fun discussions that never make it.
Last Thursday was very interesting.
Never make it the final cut, and honestly, I've deleted a bunch of that stuff because I don't have the space for it, to be perfectly honest with you. It takes a lot of space when you're doing your podcast because your initial recording is in a wave, and then you're editing it down, and then you have to export it out, import it back in. Now you've got 2 wave files that are, almost a gig apiece. Eventually you rip it down to an MP3, and you're good to go. But that's one show functioning at almost 2 gigs, depending on how long the episode is. And that can be hefty. I mean, if you're doing the same thing, what is with these yawns? It's killing me here. But if you're doing it, if you're including the video, I mean, you save this video down, that's going to be another set of gigs. It's going to be a lot of space. So you have to have the space to be able to save it. I think I do like the idea of taking some of that separate content and saving it as premium content maybe. Maybe someone wants to sit there and see Brother Mac yawn every now and then. I don't know. Probably not. I bet you the outtakes from shows like Seconds Count, Mangasms, and maybe even the Lowdown Throwdown would be much more entertaining than the I Want to Start a Damn Podcast. Yeah, yawning. Got to stop recording these damn shows at midnight.
I concur.
Dr. Black was supposed to show up with a coffee for me. That's a problem.
I was on my way there, and then I got the email notification of the hangout.
Oh, you could have totally still came. If you brought a laptop, you don't have a laptop. Never mind.
What?
That's what you said.
I have a house. How do I not have a laptop? See, this is the stuff I'm going to discuss on Mangasms, where just because I have a little more melanin than you do, you assume that I'm broke.
Wow. You're going to have to invite me on the show. Don't forget, I'm Black Irish.
Oh yeah, you'll be on the show, probably the third show.
The third show. You're starting this because of me.
Random arbitrary number, just felt right.
It's because I'm Black Irish. I understand. It's fine.
Mostly that first part.
That's the way you treat me. All right. We're getting so far off topic. I don't remember what the hell I was talking about before I started yawning. Shit.
We were definitely not talking about feces.
So-and-so's over there cracking up.
On mute.
Wise man said, don't ever say something that you don't want to be played back to you.
That was Socrates, I believe.
Or I thought it was John Gotti.
What the hell was that?
Sliding door. But that's the beautiful thing about podcasting. You can edit weird noises like that out, like vaginal blood farts and shit.
Oh my god, I have to edit another one. You guys suck. I think I'm gonna clamor those, and I'm gonna clamor them and tag you guys in it.
It's such a great sequence of words, though.
It is. It's just not at all. I mean, they're all completely separate things, and together, I understand where you're coming from. It's just no good. All right, back to the work here. All right, so the other interesting thing that, see, I think we had a viewer show up and they disappeared with really terrible words that were there.
After Jose said that atrocity.
I don't know if I saw it, but I thought I saw it go from 1 viewer to 0. I hope they didn't see that. That'll be really bad. Okay, back to the work. So the other interesting aspect of what we're going to be dealing with is the YouTube part of it. Now, I'm sure that you can simply delete it afterward, right? You can, let it finish. I'm sure you can maybe set it to private on your YouTube channel. You can download the video once it's done processing, all that good stuff. And it'll work out great, I'm sure. It'll work out fine as you go ahead and finish the download, you do all your stuff, and then import it into Audacity. You get your audio, and then you can remove the video from your computer. Even if you decide to keep all of the video, it's doesn't really matter because you'll have it on the video on YouTube, available for you to download at any point, as long as you want to hide it, right? If you don't want anyone to see it, my guess is you'll have that sort of control. But I think you can probably get rid of it as well. The other neat part, though, is how much can you edit the video? I know people do lots of editing. So do you need to download it and do some video editing on your laptop? Or do you have the ability to actually edit that YouTube video that goes up there? So, for example, if I didn't want everything that we discussed on here, if I wanted to edit that YouTube video to mimic the show, which would probably be kind of weird, would I be able to do that? My guess is probably yes, but I don't know. I haven't experimented with it yet, so we'll have to discuss that in another episode of I Want to Start a Damn Podcast. So those are the topics that I really wanted to cover today. Another piece that I wanted to mention, and I don't think that I ever noticed this part about I Want to Start a Damn Podcast, but it sort of came to light for me in helping out and discussing the needs of so-and-so and Dr. Black for their shows, is that while I have discussed my journey in podcasting, all the stuff that I've had to go through in getting this thing up and running, I've talked about the trials and tribulations, I've talked about the issues that I have had in trying to figure everything out. I think I've told you what it was that I ended up doing, but not necessarily how to do it. And that's kind of a problem. I mean, my goal was never to teach podcasting, but I am teaching you what I did to start podcasting. And if I'm going to do that, why do a half-assed job of it, right? So I think what we're going to do is make an episode. Maybe it'll be a sub-episode, a recap, if you will. Maybe it'll be a regular episode, and we'll just put off another set of topics if I need to. But what I would like to do is a recap of start to finish to say, this is what I did to start my podcast. I went ahead and I, went to this site and I went here. And I'm not going to give you all the crap of I went through this garbage again. You don't need to hear that. You can go back and listen to the back catalog. But what I want you to be able to do is if you decide that the format, the way I have started doing my podcast is going to work for you, the freeway and all that good stuff, then I want you to be able to have those steps. I want you to know that you can go to FeedBurner and burn a new feed there. I want you to know that you can get a free WordPress page and then buy your URL and point it to it. I want you to know that you can host your stuff on Google Drive, and none of that will cost you any money. And it actually works. It actually gets you your feeds from download. It actually gets you to be able to have your podcast show up on iTunes and in Stitcher and all over the web. It's a beautiful thing. It didn't cost me a nickel except what I spent on this bad boy here. And it's beautiful, but is that going to last? What is the problem going to happen? I haven't run into them yet, so I don't know. But I want you to be able to do this now because I know this works and it didn't cost anything.
That would be phenomenal.
That would be phenomenal, would it not? So
Mike the D and I are so caught up in the steps to get it there that we have yet to record a darned thing.
And here's something that I think everyone needs to hear over and over again, is that never let the technical aspect of things deter you from doing your recordings, okay? You don't need to worry about what it's going to take to get your show to show up in iTunes if you're never going to press record. You can figure out the technology. I figured out the technology for seconds count by starting I Want to Start a Damn Podcast. The only reason why we have 7 episodes of I Want to Start a Damn Podcast.
Ouch.
Ooh. That was karate chop.
Yeah, we need
Pretty good.
Because with all the things that I think I need, I'm out there on the block in my Captain America underoos selling nickel bags to teenagers, trying to get the money to get the equipment.
Right.
Nickel bags of candy, of course.
But you have to understand, right? Think about it like this. Do you need 5 people to have Audio-Technica ATR 2100s or Heil PR40s? Do you need to have a $400 mixer to make all of that stuff work and happen? No, you don't, right? The reality is as you kick things off and as you get things going, you could pass around a couple of mics or have people sit close to you while you're recording. You don't need to have a ton of equipment to make sure that things get going, right? Pick up an extra microphone and pick up these mixers here, like the Alessi's Multi-Mix 4, this is like $50, man. That's not a lot of money. And this one here will take 4 microphones, right? There are 4 inputs available here. Obviously, in order to utilize 3 and 4, you'll need an adapter for your XLR connectors, but I mean, you can do 4 inputs on this. They always say to get a mixer that's bigger than what you need, more inputs than what you need, for the reasons you're talking about. Maybe you've got the 4 of you that are having microphones plugged into it, but you're going to have, multi-guests and stuff that are showing up to physically record. So I'm not saying that you can't buy a bigger mixer than that, but you don't need to spend $1 million on equipment to do it. And I'm telling you, if you wait until you spend a bunch of money on it, by the time you get things going, you're going to be like, I really don't want to do that anymore. It's going to be like the 40-year-old virgin, how he goes and he spends an entire day picking up the eggs and all the accoutrement and making his egg salad, and by the time it was all over, he didn't even want the egg salad sandwich anymore. And he wasted his entire Saturday. It was not fun. And I don't want that to happen to you. You want to enjoy this, right? So what I recommend is that you guys sit down and record. You can record right now with multiple microphones plugged into your computer just via USB spots if you download a trial version of Hindenburg. You don't even need a mixer at this point of the game. Get it done. It's time to record. Hit the red button and record your show.
We were intending to do that also tonight. That's why Mike the D is here. But we've thought that Brother Mac should take precedence.
I appreciate you giving us the time. And that's going to actually bring me to close out our show for the day. So you can look forward to an upcoming episode of me doing a recap of how the hell to start a damn podcast. At least Brother Mac style with I Want to Start a Damn Podcast. We're going to just basically go over the steps that I have done to create a podcast. Doing it using the equipment that I have managed to procure and the method for hosting and feed burners and websites and all that garbage. I will tell you everything that I have done in a more or less step-by-step manager. Ooh. What I have done more or less in a step-by-step manner and publishing this out. And we'll use pictures and all kinds of stuff. I'll draw little cartoons and smiley faces and arrows and all this stuff. I'll make sure it's picture friendly for you to just get it going. Again, my goal here was never to teach a podcast. It was to enjoy the journey of podcasting and just share that journey with everybody else. But I would like it for people to be able to view it. Hell, I've inspired a couple of people to start podcasts already, and I love that. I mean, I get an automatic 30% of whatever they eventually get just by being a part of the creation of it. That's amazing to me. So I'm really happy to have inspired those folks.
Jose, did you catch that 30%? Did you hear that?
I thought I did, but I've never been good at math, so.
All right.
That was 30%, right?
Right.
Nothing from nothing leaves nothing. You could take 30% of that all day.
So 30% is good then, is what you're saying, Dr. Black.
Phenomenal. You got it. You got it.
Thank you. Just wanted to make sure we got that on record. We're going to have it on audio and on video. It's a beautiful thing. Suckers. We'll edit everything out so that it just says, you guys are going to give me 30%, right? And you're going to say, yes, that's phenomenal. Amazing. I love audio editing.
I hate you.
Dude, this camera angle sucks. There we go.
Wait, I think Hubble is coming around. We might be able to see that. Jose, do you see the chat?
No, I can't see the chat on my screen.
Oh, okay, I've been typing to you and got nothing. All right.
He's doing his hangout over the phone. That's probably why.
All right.
So I will link you two up on Facebook. But shut the fuck up for a second.
Shutting the fuck up.
Don't make me mute you. All right, folks. So be on the lookout for Dr. Black with Mangasms and so with the lovely Miss Allie and the Lowdown Throwdown coming to you very soon. to a theater near you, not to a theater near you, to an iTunes near you, and hopefully to a Stitcher near you, and hopefully to Facebook and to WordPress and all these other cool places for you. I believe you can actually right now, you can find the Lowdown Throwdown at
lowdownthrowdown.com.
Beautiful. You can find them at the Lowdown Throwdown. It's not the Lowdown Throwdown, right? It's just lowdownthrowdown.com.
That's correct, sir.
Wonderful.
Lowdownthrowdown.com.
Everyone, keep an eye on the lowdownthrowdown.com. Helping out so-and-so. Check out some cool underground music. And as soon as Dr. Black gets Mangasms up and going, we will have that sitting there, and we will link to it in the show notes. This has been a super fun episode of I Want to Start a Damn Podcast. I'd like to thank my guests, so-and-so with the Lowdown Throwdown and Dr. Black with Mangasms for joining us. Everyone give him a round of applause.
Yay.
Don't worry. Don't worry. I will use the
He is
magic
way
of
cuter than
podcasting.
so-and-so.
I'm going to use the magic of podcasting there to add in some applause. So any comments about there not being any afterwards is going to be weird. So I've never done that either. I've never added some cool effects in afterwards. So I'm going to do that too. Why not? Let's get this party started right. I shouldn't have said that. I'll have to edit that out. That was bad news bears.
That was so early 90s, it hurt.
I want to right now.
Hey, but I want to say thank you. I know you didn't initially start out, trying to teach anybody other than yourself, but you definitely inspired and helped me out a lot. Gave me some good ideas, as well as step-by-step walkthrough, like a video game guide. You know what I mean? Like I feel like I've leveled up. Super Mario ate the mushroom and ready to take on Bowser now. So shout outs to you.
Save the princess, baby. Save the princess. All right. Well, thanks, everybody, for listening to I Want to Start a Damn Podcast. I really appreciate your time, and I love you lending me your ears. Have a great one.